you have probably hit some stumbling blocks on your decluttering journey. Maybe you have fallen a bit behind and you're struggling to catch up. Maybe you ran out of steam and you are low on energy and motivation. Or maybe you are struggling to make progress because you share your home with someone else. In this video then, I want to talk about those 3 roadblocks and how you can get around them. Let's go. Hi guys, it's Laura and we are doing things a little differently today. We are on day 14 of the Declutter Challenge, clutter-free in 5. Make sure you're subscribed so you're not missing out on any. So today you have 3 options and then we will talk about the 3 roadblocks. You can either tackle a space in your home, a small space in your home that is just driving you crazy, or maybe you want to finish up a space that we previously discussed that you didn't get to complete. You can take this time to actually get some of the stuff out of your home. Remember that exit strategy that we talked about? This is something that I fall down on all the time. So maybe you want to take today and actually make a trip to the charity shop, or I don't know, list those things online to sell. Today could be your day for actually moving that stuff out. Or you can just take the day off, relax, enjoy yourself. So I want to offer some decluttering advice and motivation because I know that eventually you get to a stage where life happens and you get thrown off course. First, I want to reassure you that that is perfectly normal. The whole reason that I started this annual 1-month challenge is because I had hit a wall. I was decluttering a lot, but I wasn't actually moving the stuff out of my home, that exit strategy that we talked about. So even though I had separated out what I wanted to get rid of, it was still sitting in my home, so my space still looked cluttered. So I took an entire month off just to ship that stuff out, but also to allow me to rest and regroup a little bit. Now, I've been decluttering for over 5 years now, like hardcore decluttering. I always did little regular clear outs, but proper decluttering for over 5 years now, and I still to this day hit a wall every single time I declutter something. I still get to that stage where I don't want to do it. I still feel resistance. Usually I will dive in full of energy and motivation, and then, and this is generally when I get to the point where I've pulled everything out, I start to have serious regrets and I want to quit. I want to just give up and walk away, burn the house down. So if that is you, it's normal. There is nothing wrong with you. You're not too lazy. It's not that you can't do it. It's not that it's just not for you. You are not bad at this. The situation is not hopeless. Your home isn't, beyond help. You can do it. And remember that there is a huge difference between wanting to quit, which we all feel at various different times, and actually quitting. There will be times in your life, and this is not just with decluttering, but just in general, where you will feel like you are flying, you are out in front, you are leading the pack, you are winning at life. And then there will be other times where you feel like you're just stuck, you're in a rut, you're not making progress. You may even feel that other people are passing you by, overtaking you. And yeah, there will even be times where you feel like you're moving backwards. But unless you actually make a conscious decision to quit decluttering or quit going after your goal, and you follow through on that, you're still in the game. Doesn't matter what your pace is, what stage you're at. If you're still showing up, you're still trying, you're recognizing that you need a rest, but you still have intentions to continue, you still want to continue, that is what matters. There is no catching up. Catching up implies that you are behind. And in order for you to be behind at something, there would have to be some form of schedule or deadline, when there isn't. I know that I'm putting out daily videos, but that doesn't mean that you have to do them every single day. They're just there whenever you need them, whenever you are ready and have the time, the energy, the motivation to tackle another task. Life has no timetable. We're all taking different classes, learning different lessons. We're all completing different projects, and we will all graduate at different times, in different places, with different experience and a different level of understanding. So wherever you are, you're doing just fine. Now, I know that even if you feel that you're doing okay, you will still have moments where you are unmotivated. So let's take this right back to the beginning. On day one of this journey, this decluttering challenge, we talked about writing down your vision and taking your before photos. Now is a great time to revisit those, to see how much progress you've made, to see how far you've come, and also to remind yourself of the direction that you are heading and why you are going that way. Maybe at this stage you even want to tweak it a little bit because you've had some revelation along the way and you've gained a new perspective, or you've realized that you have different priorities. Maybe you want to tweak it because you started off with a very broad vision and now as you go, you're getting more clear on what you actually want. Maybe even take some in progress pictures, or if you feel that there is a small space that you have completed, take some after shots. But look at where you were just a short time ago and look how far you have come with just a few minutes a day. Also remember, and this is something that I preach about all the time, but that is that you do not have to want to do something for it to still get done. Even if you don't feel like it, you can still do it. Even if you lack the motivation, you can still make progress. Okay, let's say that you want to make progress, you are ready to make progress, but someone else is in the way. Your husband won't clear out his stuff. Your partner won't let anything go. Your kids are refusing to do anything. In fact, they seem to be actively thwarting your decluttering efforts. Let me tell you, this is one of the hardest things for me. I often imagine how perfect my home would be if I lived alone. So I want to give you 3 pieces of advice that probably help me the most when it comes to accepting the situation as much as I can. The first is to realize that not everyone is on the same journey, or even if they are, they're not at the same stage of that journey. I wasn't always into the minimalist way of life, let me tell you. I was messy. I shopped a lot, I bought a lot, and then I just flung that stuff everywhere. That is why I am in this situation, or certainly that's where I was, and that's why I started out on this decluttering journey. So now if I feel myself getting annoyed at my husband for, buying lots of things or leaving things lying around, I ask myself if I have ever done that. Have I ever left dirty dishes in the sink? Have I ever left clothes lying around the floor? Have I ever wasted money on something that I ended up never using? That is usually enough to humble me, put me back in my box. Then I ask myself if my husband has any good qualities, and of course he does. He has many of them, but it reminds me that we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses, and sometimes we have a tendency to focus on the latter. So I try to actively and consciously remind myself of all of the things that my husband is great at that I'm not. In fact, because my husband is not nearly as sentimental as I am, he has been immensely helpful to me when I am trying to declutter sentimental stuff, because he offers me that kind of more rational, logical perspective. He gives me a more objective outlook. And then one of the most helpful things to recognize is that even if he is not actively involved in the decluttering, he is still indirectly making it easier for me to do it. He is looking after our daughter, he's cooking meals for us, he is, chipping in with a helping hand if I need something moved, something heavy moved or lifted. He has often made trips to the charity shop with all of the stuff that I have decluttered. So he is actually helping in his own way. So if there is someone in your home who's not fully on board, ask yourself, have you ever been in that situation? Have you ever done what they are doing? Do they have any other great qualities just because they're not great at decluttering or tidying? What are their other good qualities? And then 3, are they in some way actually helping out by taking on other chores or other tasks, something that is just easing the burden on you a little bit? Now, in my course, The Clutter Cure-All, there is a whole module dedicated to getting others involved in the process, getting their buy-in, just helping to get them on board. Even if you don't get their full commitment, these are different ways that you can get their understanding and their support and even the odd helping hand. There is also a whole section dedicated to getting kids on board and the most effective ways to teach them how to tidy and look after their things. I will be talking a little bit more about kids in the next video, but it is all there in the course, including all of the obstacles you will face and how to overcome them, how to make progress if you are ill or grieving, and how to approach things like shopping, how to maintain the results that you are getting. It is incredibly in depth. I will link it for you below if you want to learn more information about it, but it is basically this challenge on steroids. Like, it's this challenge times a million. Now, speaking of kids, tomorrow we are going to be tackling toys, the things that seem to take over your entire home. We are going to be rounding them up and reducing the amount. And as promised, I will talk about some ways that you can get your kids involved in the process. Make sure that you are subscribed because you do not want to miss that one. Go raibh míle maith agaibh. Agus feici mé sibh sigh go luath. Slán!